Welcome to your Voice Your Impact show, where authentic voices spark real change and bold conversations lead to lasting impact.
That's right. This is a space where we amplify ideas, celebrate stories, and challenge mindsets because every voice matters and every story has the power to transform.
Whether you're a dreamer, a doer, a change maker, or someone simply figuring it out, we are here for you. Each week, we bring inspiring guests, thought-provoking conversations, and powerful insights to help you own your voice and leave your impact.
I am the energetic EJ, a life and transformational coach, a podcaster, and an event host. I work with women who are accomplished to turn their success into legacy influence.
Hi, my name is Olawale Afolabi, but many know me as Scott Unlimited. I'm a seasoned compere and orator par excellence, passionate about connecting people through words and purpose. Beyond the mic, I'm a business intelligence professional driven by insight, strategy, and impact.
My name is Grace So Amazing. I am an integrative life coach. I help my clients align their psychological, social, and physical well-being. I am the founder of Friends Lean On Global Foundation, a non-governmental organization that is centered on educating people about mental and emotional well-being. Like,
subscribe,
and share. Welcome.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to your Voice Your Impact show. How are you doing? I hope you're well. I hope you've been well because we have been, even though we've been away for a while. Happy new month. Yes, the month is still fairly new. It's just the 6th of the month and it's the second half of 2026. Oh my goodness. Okay. So let us bring it in, right? So it's the second half of 2026. Happy half year. We in Nigeria and greeting all the type of greeting. Happy new month, happy new week, happy new year, happy new day. But happy everything. We're so grateful for the gift of life and for the opportunity to be back again on the screen. We've been away for a while because life has been lifing for all of us at Your Voice Your Impact. But we're glad that we're back. And so yes, so we just wanted to welcome you back and welcome you into the second half of 2026 and also to talk about our journey so far. But before we go into all that conversation, of course, let's do our normal greeting. Hello, Gracie. Good to see you. It's been a while. How are you doing?
yes, so a while on the show, but of course,
on the show,
we are
of course.
always. It's been a while. I'm happy to be back because I know that here we impact ourselves first, and we also learn on the show, and we I believe we transform lives. So it is good to be back, and I'm looking forward to the next phase where we are entering, because we are entering a phase where we let me speak for myself. I know that I have grown, I have learned, and I'm sure we're going to be talking about all of those things on the show today. So yes, it feels good to be back.
Absolutely great to be back. And so yeah, regardless of where you're watching from, whether you're connecting on Facebook, LinkedIn, or YouTube, please do not be shy to say hi in the comment section. Let us hear from you. How has 2026 been for you so far? And what are you looking forward to in the second half of the year? So we are going to be sharing our own story based on the journey so far, 1 year, because we turned 4 last month, but that was the busiest month for all of us, right? We're not able to really celebrate as we should. And so we're using this episode to kind of look back, look now, and look forward. So thank you for everyone who has been a part of this journey for the last 4 years. I mean, it's been a journey coming. We've learned a lot, and we're going to be sharing some of the things that we've learned on this journey. But yeah, that's what we're going to be talking about today. And so we invite you to be a part of it, to share with us, what has this year been like for you? What have you been learning? What are you doing away with in this first half of the year as you go into the second half of the year? These are many more are what we're going to be talking about. So to kick it off, just to kind of give the foundation of what we're talking about today, I think, if we're going to say, what's my biggest lesson doing this for the last 4 years and still going, right? I would say for me, it's the power of consistency, right? Because on the one hand, I wouldn't say that maybe externally the growth has been visible per se, but internally the growth has been tremendous, because showing up here when it is convenient, when it is not, when you are down, when you are up, has actually revealed how resilient one can be. And to say that if you look at a 4-year-old child, there is a level of expectation that you have for that child. There's a level of responsibility that you can even give to the child. A child of 4 years old, you don't expect the child to do certain things, right? You don't expect the child to lift certain weights, but there are still some little things that you want the child to be able to do on their own. So looking at us 4 years, there are things that, I believe people would expect that we'll be doing on our own that we still kind of struggle with. But even with that, there has been a lot of learning on us personally, right? Because at the end of the day, if us as the visionaries behind this initiative are not growing, it is difficult for the initiative itself to grow, right? So the journey so far for me, I would say it has been more on us than on the program itself. Now, on the program, we've grown as well, because we've spoken to people from all over, right? And we've gotten feedback from people who have been touched or who have been impacted by one episode or the other, or one conversation or the other. So we know that this is doing something. Now, the magnitude of what it's doing, can it be better? Yes. And that's where I know that going forward, we're working towards increasing that capacity of the impact that we are making, measuring it, and making it, or increasing the reach that we have. And I think so far, this is something that has, jumped at me so far on the journey, being here for 4 years. Yes, all the ups and downs and everything. But yeah, I'd love to hear from you, Grace.
All right, thank you so much. I love what you just said around how your personal growth would have a way of showing, and it's a two-way street, which appeared on the show. Your personal growth will touch the show in a way that you become very busy with your personal things, that the show is going to suffer for it in a way, if not curated very well. So for me, what did I learn from the show 4 years in? I learned about myself. I became self-aware and what it means to work in a team. So I'm not new to working with people and working in a team, as it were, but this is different because, working with someone that I met online and then having to do behind the scenes conversations, having to agree, disagree, and then get on the journey. For me, that's the most important part of this show. So I will particularly say that I realized that the show, beyond bringing in people to talk about topical issues, talk about different topics, talk about different areas and sectors of life, I was able to develop some level of understanding around impact itself and what it is that I am really, really looking for as a human being. So the combination of what we do on Your Voice, Your Impact, starting with our strengths, was EJ, someone very big on, using your voice, and all of that. And then me, very big on the human being and how, transformation can come in hearing stories. So bringing those two formidable forces together in form of EJ and Grace opened my eyes to see that, yes, we are doing our work, using this platform. And for me, that's one big lesson. It did not stop me from moving in the path that I love. And then secondly, it improved my speaking ability. I saw myself, I went very far to watch the first episode, and then the most recent episode. So it's a platform for me to practice communicating and improving myself. And also the part for me was this is funny, but my ability to ask questions and my ability to over explain because of my own mode of learning and how I also teach. It was on the show that I realized that calm down. You don't have to break certain things to the point where the person will be so irritated. I wouldn't have known, but after watching and having conversations, I now found out that look, there is a time and there is a place for certain things. I learned it on the show. It did not stop me from being who I am, which is someone who learns better when things are, broken down in granules. It didn't stop that part of me. It just only helped me to fine tune it and to also know when to use so that I don't lose that ingredient that is very good for the work that I do with children. So pretty much I can go on and on, but for me, this are the, first-hand things that I've learned on the show and working with EJ. So that's EJ, and then later part of the the show, Olawale Scott. And then shout out to Scott. Scott is busy right now. He's also evolving, and that's why he's unable to be here. And we're happy for him, and we're loving the transformation. So yes, that's from my end.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing. I remember that, for me, it's somebody had once told me that, do you know you're a perfectionist? I'm like, no, I'm not. But in a way, I think maybe not the chronic perfection, because I know how to just see the minimum viable product, take it to the market, and we fine tune as we go. But to an extent, I have a way of doing things. Like my mind is set on how I see it in my mind is how I want it to be done, right? So when it's not being executed the way I see it in my mind, it could be like what's going on, right? But this show has also taught me to, things will not always go the way you plan, no matter how well planned you think you are, no matter how structured you think you are. Sometimes things will just not go the way you plan. And it is good to be adaptable, to be flexible, not to bring down your standard, right? But to allow for flexibility, right? So I think that's one thing that I'm learning, to let go of control, to let go of wanting to okay, I want it to be like this and I want it to be like that, and it has to be like this and it has to be like that. And it's also teaching me, working with a team, because I would say that I'm mostly I'm a lone ranger. Like I love to do things on my own. I love to do things fast. So when things are going slow, it's like, why is this thing slow, right? But I'm learning on this journey to say, see, we are not all at the same pace. There are things that takes me time that will take somebody else like this. And there are things that take somebody else, like this, that I will not get it no matter how much I'm looking at it, and to be very frustrating. So understanding those different nuances and giving grace to people that you work with. And so it's now going beyond, beyond the show, and, applying to other areas of life. other areas of working with other people, right? Knowing, okay, how to give allowance, how to give grace, how to speak to people, how to communicate, even within the team, how to brainstorm, how to look at, okay, how can we carry each other along? If we're working together, how can we carry each other along to ensure that we hit the goal? And these are so many things that this show has been able to help me fine-tune and grow and get better at. And that's why, you know, as much as there are times that we've thought about, you know what, this is not making, is it really making sense? Is it really making any difference? Like, not even just for the people, but even for us. Like, is it worth our time? Is it worth our effort? You know, there have been times we've thought about it to just, you know, well, let's scrap it, let's just go. But somehow we find ourselves thinking, okay, maybe the way we have been doing it, maybe we need to make adjustment. What adjustment do we need to make? How can we make it better? You know, and for me, the other thing it's teaching me is that staying power. Because I know that I have, to an extent, if something is not working the way I want, I'm very quick to like, see, it's not working, yeah, close it. Like, I don't have problem moving on, like doing something else. But this is teaching me that sometimes for some things to work, it actually takes time and takes that staying power. And you need to be able to stay with it long enough to see the fruits. And at that beginning stage that you are staying, it might not make sense. It might not make sense to the outside person, but you will know, because based on the inputs that you are putting and the internal results that is coming out, you will know that there is progress here. The progress is not just clear. And you can you can compare it to a plant. When you plant a seed, there are plants that it will take a while before even the sprout will come out. But all the while that the sprout is not coming out, it didn't mean that nothing is happening on the inside. It's just that it's taking its time to die first, and then to open up, and then to start, and then to go through the soil before it now sprouts. So I you know, when I look at your Voice Your Impact, I want to believe that we're still in that growing phase where we are sprouting. And as it were, as it stands right now, I don't think my mind is at that place where I'm like, oh, this is not working. No, it's like, how can this be better? That's where my mind is at. How can this be better? How can we fine tune it? How can we make it more valuable for people who are watching, or for us who are even delivering it, right? Because again, we're almost hitting that 5-year mark where they said anything, like most business or most idea does not survive the first 5 years. And I'm just curious to know. For me, I'm thinking like, even it's part of curiosity, like, let's see if we push this thing. Let's see if we're going to hit that 5 years mark and go beyond it. And not just go beyond it for going beyond the sake, but that we will grow through it. And the brand will actually grow, you know, to the point, to the visions that we've seen, because we've had visions, we've had plans, we've had all these different things that we want to do through this platform, right? But that has not found fruition yet. So we're still a work in progress, but just being here up until this time and trying to put in the work to say, okay, how can this be better? How can this work better? What do we need? What are we missing out on, right? And I think, you know, that for me is giving me staying power on this, but on other things that I'm working on, other projects that I'm working on. Like, if you can stay with your Voice Your Impact for this long, come on, you can do better. You can stay longer on a thing to see it come to fruition. And I'm so grateful for the opportunity and for just this blessing, you know, to also work with somebody like Grace, who we've had our ups and downs, had, you know, backlashes and all of that, but just finding that way to come back and communicate through it and understand each other's perspective, you know. And for me, it just also gives me the assurance that really there's really no barrier when it comes to building a relationship, except the one that we put in there for ourselves. Because as much as this is not maybe a romantic relationship or anything, I'm learning a lot from this relationship, being that we've not even met in person, but so to an extent we've been able to hold the fort for this long. So it tells me that if I'm now seeing the person, if it's somebody I've met, like, why can't we make it work? Like I'm trying, I don't know the ingredient that we're using here that's making this go, but I'm looking at it to say, how can I apply the same, I don't know if to call it method, because I don't know that maybe I've not observed enough to see that there's a particular method we are using. But to say that if this can work for the past 4 years, even though we've had our black lashes and all of that, but we're still finding a way to make the idea and the vision move on, there must be something we are doing right. And I want to be able to capture it and apply it to my other relationships, because this is just, for me, it's like, wow. I'm just like, wow, wow, wow. This is so good. This is so good. Yeah.
I think I would start from this last thing you said, and I think I know what it is. And it's I think I'll call it determination and the ability to take people for who they are, if you want them to take you for who you are. So now, for me, everything is like an experiment. It sounds funny, but everything is a research and an experiment. And I always say that I'm the #1 guinea pig that I like to use for my experiments. And I've been understudying research. I've been understudying conflicts. I've been understanding human behavior. That's my field. So I've been saying to myself that it is not about not having conflict or not arguing or not seeing things differently. It is the ability to see things differently, acknowledge it, know that the person you're with and the person you're working with is a completely different person from you and will never see things the way you will see things. I agreed with that in my head. So I also tell myself that there is nothing EJ will do. This is me saying to myself, or would say, that I will not sit with it, look at it, and try to understand her perspective, and then deliver it to her in such a way that she would also see. So I've been able to learn communication. When I started off, it was like, just say it the way it is or the way it comes to you. That was how I started, being in this work, personal relationship with you. But then it dawned on me that, look, there are better ways to do things. I remember very clearly, there was a time we were going back and forth, and it was a question of, I cannot remember. That's how interesting it is, because I did not sit down on the issue, but on the way forward. And I give kudos to myself. I mean, now I'm at a position where I want to give credit. I want to mark myself over a particular, based on something I have done right. What did I do right, if I say so myself, is you cannot see things the way others see things, and they cannot see things the way you see things. And the way you see things is one way to see things. Allow people to show you another way to see things, and then come together and fine-tune it so that you people can agree. So for me, we have done a fine job. You know how we will be able to say, when we meet, we will now see the lessons from it. I love it. I love it for us, right? I love it because it's for me personally, it has helped me.
Great. You might need to say that part again, because your screen your screen froze for a second when you were trying to explain what it was for you. Yes, please.
Yeah. So for me, it is beautiful to watch that. It has helped me on a personal level, knowing that for me to thrive in any relationship, romantic, friendship, is for me to first take the person for who they are so that they can take me for who I am. And then from there, I should make a decision that this person is my person, because this is our project together. We will not agree on a lot of things, but you see this project, we have to make this project work. So I have been able to remove anything that looks like, I mean, I remember there was a time that we were not going to move to the next level because of, you know, some issues that, you know, individual issues that, you know, and then I said, see, if you need time, you know, to deal with what you have to deal with, that is what this show is for. We should not come and sit on this show and be letting people know that, yeah, you have to create impact, use your voice. No, it starts with us. How are we impacting each other from the lessons we have learned on this show? First things first, it is not always going to be smooth sailing. It will get to a point where you're like, I honestly cannot do this. What am I supposed to do as a partner? What am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to say, okay, since you're not doing it, girl, yeah, make everybody waka? Or what is it? How can I help you? Do I need to be quiet so that you can think through this and then go ahead to get out of it on your own? Or do you need me to support you in any way? And it has happened on your side and it has happened on my side, which is the beauty of life. So for me, I love it. I love it. And then another thing I also learned is knowing when to step back so the other person should be in control. And when it is now looking like, okay, this person, you know, in control is looking like, okay, we need to now switch. There is a position for that. Not control in the sense that I'm the one to control the affairs of this. No, control in the sense that, okay, you have tried. The show that
be in charge. Let me hold.
Yeah, man, in charge. You have tried. You know, let's switch gears a bit. It's just like we are co-piloting, we're driving, and you're driving, and you have gotten to the point of like, see, I think you need a bit of rest. Let me take the wheel here, and then we know that we are just helping each other thrive together. It's beautiful to watch, and that for me is profound. We don't get it anywhere. I've worked with teams, and I have seen where, you know, internally you have backed that, well, anyhow you want to bring it in, we just do it because of the project. But it's not just because of the project, but it is us seeing how the project is reflecting what our lives can be if we put in the work. And then lastly, I want to talk about consistency. You know, there are values that can be good and not good. I don't want to use good, bad illustration. Can be useful and can lose its usefulness if not well checked. So for instance, consistency. So for me, consistency, when it comes to your voice, your impact is showing up. Is it convenient? Is it not convenient? Let's just show up. We have a guest or we don't have a guest, let's just show up. That's consistency on one hand. On the other hand, I would be like, we're consistently doing the same thing over a period of time. And what are the results that we're looking for? I am sure that 100 over 100 would say 90% over 100 when it comes to showing up in terms of consistency. We have tried. For 4 years, we have tried. On the other hand, have we been consistent in you know, say let me hear
that we bring the result we are looking for.
There you have it. So I wanted you to say it so that we will know by ourselves that yes, we know that the parts that we have agreed to be consistent on, we have been doing well. And the parts where we know that it will require more work, more attention, have we been? And then we brought in people. We did not do badly. We said, okay, let's do this. That for me is some level of growth. And we will only get better from there. I can go on and on, but I'm very
Absolutely.
excited that 4 years we have done
Absolutely.
so much.
Honestly. Thank you so much. Victoria Okonko says, oh, yes, it's no joke. 4 years is no joke. And yes, absolutely. But we're planning to meet soon. And we will document that journey. We will document it for sure. But absolutely, I think talking about consistency, right? It is important that we actually say this and like distill it for anyone who is listening, who is going to watch this later. When it comes to consistency, I know I'm consistent. But that question now is really that there is a result you are looking at. There is a destination you are going to. The thing that is required for you to get to that destination, are you consistent in it? Because to be honest with you, we are all consistent. You that you procrastinate on everything, you are consistently procrastinating. That's why you're a procrastinator. That's it. So the thing is, you say, I'm not consistent. I'm struggling with consistency. What exactly is consistency? Is not your problem. This is what this conversation is teaching me, and what our journey so far is teaching me. Consistency is not the problem. Because number one, if you're a self-motivated person, if you're a determined person, if you're a person of purpose and vision, you will be consistent. But then, on top of that, is the layer of deep consistency that will bring results. They are two different things. Because you can be consistently showing up. That's what separates people who are showing up. There are people who have been creating content for years. And then somebody else will come and create the same content. And in months, they are everywhere. You're wondering, what exactly did I do wrong? The question is, are you doing what it takes to get the type of result you want to get? And this is the challenge that we are putting forward for ourselves going forward. Because we said at the beginning of this session, we're looking back, we're looking now, and we're looking forward. One of the things that we know we need to do, we attempted it, but we didn't stay on it consistently. And that's something that we want to work on in this next year, going into our 5th year, which is to work out a way to consistently do what is required for us to get the kind of result we want to get. And this goes to business owners, especially, let's call them startup, because I feel like there is that thing that when you say I'm a SME, I mean, it's a term, but somehow there's a way that the words we say or the description we use can also become the reality. When you continue to say I'm a small and medium, you might not go big because you just remain small and medium. So, but when you say you're a startup, you're saying I'm starting. It means I can grow. I'm growing. Do you see? So for startups, this is something I want to invite you into this conversation so that we can hold each other accountable. Which is there are a lot of startups that you are at this point that we are at, not because you don't know your product very well, not because you don't know your audience very well, but there are other things that needs to be done that you are not doing consistently. So you are opening your shop every day. You are arranging your shop. Let's even use a physical shop, for example. You open your shop every day, you clean and you dust it out, and then you sit down and wait for customers to come in. What are you doing actively to bring customers in? Are you calling the old ones to ensure they come back? Are you creating an incentive for the old ones to bring somebody when they are coming back so that they can increase it? Are you asking the people that have bought from you before to give you a review so that other people can see their reviews and say, okay, let me try them out? Are you doing that? For us who are service providers, even on this show, how many of our old guests have we gone back to even tell them that, you've been on our show before. Let us share again now. Tell people that we exist so that they can come and see the things we are doing. We have not really done that, right? So these are some of the things that I'm saying it so that I will also put myself under pressure to do the work, that we need to promote this better. We need to talk about this more. we are doing a great job here is not disputable. It's not disputable. Our guests have said so. Our audience have said so. But we are stuck with the audience we have and the guests we've already had. So we need more people or fresh eyeballs to see what we are doing so that more people can come. And so this is our own charge for you, that as we go into this journey, into our 5th year, to say there are things that we've not been doing consistently that we want to do consistently. We want to challenge you as well. What do you need to start doing that you're not already doing that would help you get the results that you want, that will make it better for you? And how can you do that consistently in the next 6 months? Let's just give ourselves 6 months. So Grace, as we are putting ourselves on the line, what do we want to set as a goal for the next 6 months, which is July to December 2026, that we want to see happen for Your Voice, Your Impact show, so that we can move a step further than where we are now?
So that's a very good question, and I'm sure during our strategy session, we will do it. And then what I'm also learning, I remember we had, so this brings me back to an article I wrote recently about theory and practical. And what I got from this Olodo, I remember we had a conversation. I remember we had a conversation around it, how, people that are really putting in the work and people that are, doing the barest minimum, only doing it differently, how there's a huge dichotomy, or there's a huge difference. And then again, like I said, I love to research. I don't just take things verbatim. I do, and I see, and I come up with more like I do an assessment. So what I realized is our approach usually is the approach of more like, education, and education, inspiration, motivation, in that field. And the world in its form needs entertainment, controversial and all of that. And just like we have agreed, some of these things are short-lived, and we need to for something to really thrive and grow, is we need to solidify the foundation. And if you ask me, what have we done in solidifying the foundation? I would say that, professionally speaking, without mincing words, when we talk about emceeing, talk about compare an event personnel, someone that turns an event to something else, I don't think twice. I look at EJ and I'm like, EJ, professionally speaking, talking about podcasting, talking about The Voice, talking about, you have become a force to be reckoned with. So Your Voice, Your Impact is on or not. You are the best event compare I know. And that's talking about building foundation. You did an event recently where we talked, you brought people, Your Voice, Her Voice, Her Impact, where you brought people, and then you were able to coach them from within, helping them to see how they can start their podcast and all of that. That is foundational. That is you actually creating impact and also monetizing the gift that you have. So, speaking foundationally, that's professionally speaking, you have done amazingly well. So if we have to put 2 and 2 together, that, when we talk about bringing guests to the show to use their voices for impact, how are we using our own voices for impact beyond your voice, your impact? That's an example right there. Now, if you're asking me, Grace, you that you're talking, how have you been able to use your voice for impact? I mean, professionally speaking, when I started the show, I had certifications, I was doing my own stuff. But beyond just achieving the certification, I have professionally put myself as a practitioner. I have professionally put myself in the space of psychological well-being. I am using my voice, not just my voice, to make so much noise about how it is important that you're psychologically well to be able to create impact. No matter what you have, no matter what you have learned, how you practice it and bring it out professionally is important. So, your voice, your impact has given me the platform to show that, look, I am beyond just using my voice. Professionally speaking, I am helping people stay mentally and emotionally well. So, to now answer the question, have we done that individually, professionally? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. And are we bringing it back here on the show to continue helping people know that it is not, your voice is not just an instrument. Your career is an instrument. Your skill is an instrument. Your story is an instrument. Come, share it so someone can learn from it. So we will now position ourselves in such a way that our message continues to be inspiring and educational and motivational. And then we will now use different methodologies to convey this message. So be open. You would see us, on the spot, different things that we will bring on to make it, a bit more entertaining, but to grab the attention so that the message will be passed. So yeah, that's what we will I think we can add to what we already have.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. And I know the nitty-gritty of that is what we're going to be working on, and it's a journey. So you are going to be seeing it unfold. We might not talk about it the way we're talking about it now, which is why we're having this conversation now, to kind of invite you into the journey we are going on. So when you begin to see some of these things manifest, you have an idea if you are with us, if you have been following us, right? Or at least maybe you can go back and say, oh, this is what they said 6 months ago. This is where they are now. But also for ourselves, because again, if you didn't catch it before, catch this now, that what we do here is for us first. And so some of the time I feel like sometimes we are coaching ourselves through this process, through this, medium, to say, okay, this is something that we think can work. How can we make it work? Because then it actually helps us, and that's what Grace has just explained. It helps us in the work that we do individually as a coach and psychotherapist and therapists as well, for Grace, and for me as coach who coach people in using their voices, stay accountable to their goals and execute on their visions, right? These are some of the things that we know work. And sometimes we like she said earlier, like she's our own number one guinea pig. So we test it out on ourselves, distill the method, because you hear the saying there is a method to the madness, right? So distill the method so we're able to apply it or adapt it to other places. And before we close out this communication today, or this conversation today, is to let you know that the same thing we are doing right now, you can do in your own place. You can replicate it in your own work. And that's why what we do is actually important. We are not, when you talked about, like highlighting the things that we've achieved based on the style that we chose from the beginning, not like we fell into it. This is what we set out to do in the beginning. It wasn't an entertainment type of show. it was an inspirational, motivational, and more around coaching, like kind of show, really. So when we look at that yardstick, we've done well. Because why? If for nothing, we've coached ourselves and we'll become better in the process, right? So just to let you know that that's why we do what we do, that these things we say are actually possible. And we want to show you that it is. That's why we were also on the show, that we've been talking about, okay, use your voice, create impact. And we wanted you to see how using your voice can help you create impact. And you can see that it is clear. Outside of the show itself, check us out and check out the impact that we are creating in our different fields. But we are here again, bringing it back in here to remind you that when you show up, when you use your voice, when you tell your story, when you share your lessons, you are actually growing as a person. But at the same time, you are helping other people grow. And that's exactly what we've done here. So we want to give it back to you to say, see, this thing we just did now, you too try it for yourself. And what we're saying is, if it is a challenge, because there are people who have that challenge to kickstart it, that's why we are here. If it's a challenge for you to say, okay, I cannot just turn on my camera and just start talking. Okay, we have the camera, we have the mic, we can help you turn it on, and we can help you guide the conversation in a way that brings out the message that you want to share with the world, and then you can take it from there. Okay, so if you're watching this, or you know somebody who has a story to tell, who has a message to share, but they're not even sure how to begin it, but they are, they are bold enough to say, you know what, if I have people that will guide me, I will do it. Invite them to be our guest on the show. We will guide them. We would help them have that conversation that would help them extract the message that they have, the lesson that they want to share with the world, the story that they want to share with the world, and we help them, guide them through sharing that story. And by that, they then make the impact that they need to make. We know people who have been on this show, and by being on this show, it has opened up more doors for them. It has opened up their confidence level for them to now go on to be on other shows, or now open them up to now do their own thing that they were unable to do until they came on the show. So we are inviting you, as we grow into our 5th year, we want to invite you to grow along with us. So if you've been thinking about, I wish I could share my story, don't worry, come to us. We can even curate it for you in such a way that you only share the thing you want to share, because I feel some people are afraid that, what if I go and overshare? What if I go and say the part that I don't want to say? Don't worry, we got you. That's why you need to reach out to us first. Behind the scenes, we can hear your story and help you curate it in such a way that you share only the part you want to share that would help other people. Because some of our stories too, we don't need to share some parts, not because it will not make the story sweeter, but because that part is for you and you alone. The world does not need to hear that part. Not because you are hiding anything, but it's just that there are times that there are conversations that some things are private, and let's leave it like that. Let's leave it like that, okay? So we hope that with these few points of ours, sharing our own stories, sharing our own journey, telling you how sweet and bitter and sour it has been, but how we are still saying we're continuing on this journey because we know the amount of growth we have experienced behind the scenes. We hope that we've been able to convince you that using your voice shouldn't be a thing that scares you, and shouldn't be a thing that you overthink. It is possible, and it has more good, more advantage, or more advantages than disadvantages. And so we invite you, as we go on to the next phase of our own journey, that you come along with us. And if you have your own story to share, we have the platform to help you share it. Thank you so much for being a part of Your Voice, Your Impact today. Thank you for being with us. Thank you for sticking with us all through the years. We know some people that have been here for the longest time, like they come, if they don't catch us live, they always go back to the replay and they always give us feedback. We want to say thank you to you. We appreciate you. We celebrate you. And we're inviting you to continue the journey with us. Don't stop giving us feedback. Don't stop calling us out if you think we're going, another way. Please do feel free to always reach out to us. and let us know your thoughts on what it is we're doing here. But yeah, that's it for 4 years journey, what we've learned and what we're going on with. And we hope that you'll come along with us for that as we count down to our 5th year. Yes, Gracie, over to you.
All right. So before we wrap up, I just want to make an announcement very quickly. So if you live in Abuja, there is a program, an event that is coming up on the 25th of July. It is called Thrive. And this was brought together by African Guru Academy and Wellfittville, which is an organization that I own. So we are bringing the structure of a business and well-being together. We're going to be having fun. We're going to be learning, and people learn a lot. You know, there's a whole lot that they have learned, but they've not been able to monetize it. That's where African Guru Academy comes to play. It is nothing technical. It's going to be a fun way to unravel that. And then for the well-being part, where I come in, we're going to be doing some inner work. We're going to be having fun. We're going to be having games that will take you back to your childhood. We're going to be dancing. We're going to be karaokeing, if there's anything like that. And then, of course, we're going to be meeting new people. And when I say meeting new people, I mean new people from all walks of life. To register, I'm going to, I don't know if you live in Kaduna, if you live in Abuja, please, you can send me a message so that I would let you know how to register. I didn't plan this. I just said, this is our platform. We don't really talk about some of the things that we do. Let's start with that, So that's why I now remember, the flyer is somewhere. I'm not able to share the flyer right now, but I'm very sure that if you're going to hear this message, you would reach out to me so that you can be a part of the event. And yes, please journey along with us as we leave the toddler stage, to an adolescent. We're growing small. So we're growing. We want you to be a part of our journey so that we can also share.
Absolutely.
You can share in our story. Yes.
I love it.
Ciao.
I love it. This is one of the things we're supposed to be doing that we're not doing consistently. Yes, we have other things that we are doing, and we will be using this platform to promote those other things. So yes, go. If you're in Abuja, please reach out to Grace. That's why you should be following us individually as well, because we have a dedicated channel to the show, but we have our individual platforms, right? So follow us individually so you know some of the things that we're doing. Because me, for example, I'm currently promoting the Podcasting Bootcamp virtual experience. This is going to be amazing. I'm going to be having a webinar soon with one of my contacts in Canada. And so that means we're opening up to the Canadian market. So that means that the next virtual experience is going to have people from all over Canada, UAE, Nigeria. So it's an opportunity for you to also network with people, even as you step into becoming a podcaster, sharing your own message, having your own platform. Okay. So yeah, please follow us individually. Global Energetic ED on Instagram, Grace So Amazing on Instagram, Grace Edibo on LinkedIn, Ejiro Osakede on LinkedIn. Follow so that you are not missing out on whatever it is we're doing. But going forward, we will be promoting one of our events at every episode so that you are able to know what we're working on and what we're serving you with. All right. But thank you so much for being a part of the show today. It will come your way again next week, having another conversation, reminding you that you have a voice and your voice is meant for impact. Please use it and use it wisely. All right. God bless you. We'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye.